Hey everyone, Pat Beliveau here. It is Wednesday, the 24th of June, 2020. Um, this is kind of a twofold thing. I'm having a bit of a squirrel moment, this first part. Um, I go through some of my old cassettes every so often because I got a box of them here, and I just happen to have a stereo that I bought in my first year university, which was just after the invention of the wheel. So, and it has a dubbing cassette deck in it. So I was going through some old cassettes and I came across something that I want to play for you, just part of a song. And I have there's a bit of a personal thing with it too. That I know I was at a camp with the person who wrote this chart and put this band together and made this recording. Very great piano player, composer, arranger, and very nice guy named Frank Mantooth from Chicago. And I also wanted to showcase the guy playing the Barry solo, who is a fellow from New York by the name of Scott Robinson. This is a bunch of Frank Mantooth arrangements or compositions that were put on an album years ago called Sweet Tooth, like Suite, not Sweet. So like the sweet, a suite of songs, so to speak. I know you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, this is called If I Were a Belson, and it actually features drummer Louis Belson as well. But I just wanted to play a little bit for you because it's kind of like I took that out and started playing it again, and it was like taste it again for the first time. I think it's Scott Robinson plays a really great Barry solo on it and stuff. And I've played this chart before. It's a pretty high level, somewhat taxing kind of chart. And when I played this, I played the Barry solo on it too. So I know what these changes are like. So anyway, this is it. This is If I Were a Belson. Frank Mantooth. I just want to play it to the end of the Barry solo. We're already at 6 minutes, so I don't want it to go too long. So the interesting thing about that is I made mention of this in one of my other videos that in the summer of 1990 and the summer of 1991, I went to back-to-back years. I went to a jazz camp at Emporia State University in Emporia, Kansas, in the U.S. And the second year I was there, Frank Mantooth was on faculty. He was there the first year I was there in 90, and also when I was there in 91. But my combo instructor, my combo coach for the second year in 1991 was Scott Robinson, who just played the Barry solo. And I remember going in to do my audition for combo placement, and he walked in and said hello, and we exchanged pleasantries and all that. And he said, "Okay, now play me." And he mentioned some piece, I can't remember which one it was, but he says, "Can you play me the blah, blah, blah by Brahms?" And I went, "Yeah, no, I can't do that. Sorry." And then we just went on to whatever he asked me, blah, blah, blah. But from then on, he called me Brahms for the whole camp. I probably couldn't pronounce my last name, that's why. But anyway, that was pretty cool. And I also, again, like I say, Frank Mantooth was on faculty. I had a chance to hang with Frank and a couple other guys at the Student Union building at this university and get to know a little bit more about him and stuff like that. Really super guy. Man, could he drink beer. Wow. And that's coming from a Canadian who, and I'm not a big drinker, but yep, he was you got to be good at some things, right? So he was good at that, as well as he's a fantastic piano player and composer arranger. He passed away a number of years ago, but left some great music. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. I just happened to discover it and a little while ago, and I remember playing that tune and thinking that was a pretty cool tune. I'm sorry I didn't play the whole thing. It's like me telling you a joke and not the punchline, but anyway. So the one thing I did want to talk about today, over and above that, is, let me show you. Now, be prepared for some moving around here. There's no real tactful way of me to do this. So I'm going to just move the camera here and then move it back. And there's my hand. Here we go. It's okay. All right. Take a look at that. I hope you get it. That's on my laptop. Okay. I'm just leave it there for a sec so you can read it. Okay. What? Hello. Okay. Okay. So you see that? All right. So here's the deal with this. Okay. And this was brought up. Sorry, just got to adjust here. Tabernacle. There we go. This was brought up actually in a lesson. This is Wednesday night. Brought up in a lesson this past Monday by, I'm just going to close off this screen, by a student of mine. And we got on the subject of horns and Mark Sixes specifically. This is sax geek talk this time. So anybody who's not sax related or doesn't care about this is probably not the video for you. But anyway, we got onto the Mark Six thing and talking about just saxes in general. But of course, Mark Sixes come up, and the fact that what they're being priced at now, this is Selmer, Mark Sixes saxophonists. What they're being priced at nowadays is, I don't know whether I should say insane, obscene, absolutely ridiculous, too much hype. I don't know. I don't know how many more adjectives I can do here, but as you saw that one I just showed you, 1954, I think it was, or 56, whatever it was, alto for $10,500. Now, one of the things that I mentioned in that was a post on Facebook that I did, a number of months back. And I did another one, and this is even more insane. There was a 1962 Mark 6 or 63 alto that was advertised at a music store in Baltimore, Maryland, in the U.S. $26,000 U.S. Now, you heard that right. $26,000 U.S. I think we're at the point now where we should just stop the insanity. There's no way, there's not a snowflake's chance in hell that I think any horn, especially a vintage horn like that, should be worth $26,000. Now, this is like an opinion piece here that I'm going to be talking about now. It's not a, this is just my opinion. Okay. Even if it was like Cannonball Adderley's old horn, okay, maybe that fact would jump up the price some, but okay, fine. So you've got Cannonball Adderley's horn. You think you're going to play like him just because you've got his horn? No, you're not. And even if you could even remotely play up to his level, why would you want to try to play Cannonball as good or better than Cannonball could? No. Anyway, that just doesn't make sense to me. But, that aside, it seems like, and this is probably the case, that these horns are now being priced for collectors, not the actual musicians, which to me it's unfortunate, because those things could go to a good home. Like somebody who's going to actually use the horn, not hang it on a wall or put it in a display case or whatever you're going to do with it. Use it as a lamp or a planter or something like that. I don't know, whatever. Or just sit there to look at. It's unfortunate. I mean, whatever. If that's what that is, that's what that is, right? There's nothing you can do about it. Obviously, they're not catering to musicians because you're not taking into account what people do for a living. I really don't know many sax players personally who just have a spare 26,000 US lying around. If there is somebody that I know that has a spare 26,000 US lying around, call me. We should hang out. Yeah. Anyway, so I'm not sure what that's about. Now, I appreciate vintage horns. I've got a 1928 Con Alto sitting right over there on my couch here in my practice room. I'm not vintage horns. I appreciate people like them like they do. Makes no difference to me. As long as it plays well and sounds good, then if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Now, I'm not coming from a point of view where I've never experienced the Selmer Mark VI thing or whatever. Now talking tenor now, not alto. My first tenor I ever got was a 1966 Mark VI. Great horn. And I got it for a wonderful price. I ended up getting a second one, a 1954 Mark VI. Tenor, of course. And when I signed on with Julius Calworth saxes, I sold that Mark VI. Interestingly enough, I had a few people look at me like I either had a big eye right here, or I had three heads, or they just looked at me like, what the hell is your problem? And I said, you know what? No seller remorse here at all. When I signed on with Calworth, I love the Calworth horns. They're great horns. And they suited me better than the Mark VI. And then when I left, got turfed by Calworth, whatever, when that whole corporate restructuring thing came down, that's in another video, by the way. I was let go by Calworth, but they actually came back and asked me if I wanted to go back with them. But by that time, I was with Yamaha. And I am with Yamaha now, and I have been since 2002. And I play the Custom Z Mark II, and I love it. And I would not trade it for any Mark VI that you could put in front of me. Seriously, I wouldn't. But that's my preference. And again, too, this is my video, so I'm going to say what the hell I think. So this is what I think. That the whole Mark VI thing, I don't understand the hype. I don't get it. Never have gotten it. Will never get it. Okay? I just don't. And one of the things I'll maybe talk about in another video, but I'm going to touch on it right now, is this idea that, Mark VI's, there's just a sound there that is so unmistakable and so much better than anything else. Okay, if that's your perception, fine. Don't get me wrong, Mark VI's are great horns, okay? Just don't get me wrong. I don't want hate mail or any kind of that, no, don't put a hit out on me or something like that, you guys. With me though, the biggest thing that will determine how you sound, the way you sound, et cetera, is your sound concept. You should be able to sound pretty much the same on a 1963 Mark VI or a 2020 Yamaha Custom Z or Julius Calworth or Trevor James or P. Moriat or Tenor Madness or Seawind or whatever. It should be pretty close. Now, there could be subtle differences. I get that. Got it. But generally speaking, your sound concept should dictate how you're going to sound on whatever instrument you play. So this is my bottom line here. This is my opinion again. Your sound concept reigns supreme to me. Now, your equipment is important. Don't get me wrong. It is important. But over and above that, to me, your sound concept is what would be the main thing. That's the idea of the sound in your head, of how you want to sound, the people you've been listening to that, you'd like to emulate. Don't be a clone. We don't need more of, like I said, why would you want to play Cannonball? You think you're going to play Cannonball better than Cannonball played Cannonball? No. To have an influence, yeah, great. But to be a clone, why not find your own voice, right? So, that's a different video on a different day. But my point being, it's out of hand. And anybody who wants a vintage horn like that, if the Selmer Mark VI early 60s is your thing, your jam, great. But good luck finding a horn that's priced reasonably, because it won't happen. And I remember pricing this out when I with that one in Baltimore. I did the exchange from US dollars to Canadian dollars because I'm in Canada, and then put it in in the context of buying Yamahas. For that Mark VI Alto, if I'm not mistaken, I could buy 5, almost 6 brand new Yamaha Custom Z tenors for the price of that Mark VI Alto, 26,000 US. And even that one that I just showed you on my laptop, 10,500 US. Really? Okay. So anyway, I wanted to put that out there, not because I'm trying to bash Selmer, and I'm not, just because I'm a Yamaha guy. No. That's not what I'm doing. But to me, the hype and the craziness around the Mark VI stigma, it's almost like the Kool-Aid is flowing freely like crazy now. And I don't understand why, A, you'd price a horn like that at that price, and B, why anybody would pay that. I don't know. If you've got more money than brains, okay, I get it. All right. And I'm sure there's people out there like that. So if that's your thing, fine, whatever. But people like that will buy a horn like that and probably throw it on their wall. That's a great place for a horn like that. Why don't you get, like the Kmart Bargain Basement or Motomaster horn and throw that on your wall? I don't know. It's, again, as I think it was my dad that used to say, opinions are like asses. Everybody has one. So this is my opinion on this. I think it's just out of control. I don't understand it. I don't buy into it, and won't ever. Even if I left Yamaha, if Selmer came and said, we want you to be on board with us, well, I wouldn't go because I like Yamaha. But even if I decided to go on with Selmer, still, I would not go searching for the Mark VI like that. I couldn't afford it. There's no way. So I'm just curious what you guys might think about that. If all you can see is Mark VI and everything else sucks, okay, that's kind of a weird attitude to have, but okay. I'd be interested to see what makes them so indestructible, irresistible, magical, whatever. I would be hard-pressed to think that you would sound very different from a Mark VI to a Yamaha Custom Z to a Calworth to a Tenor Madness to a Trevor James to a whatever. That's just me. If your sound concept is what it is, it'll probably sound pretty much the same on any horn. That's what I'm thinking. Anyway, just thought I'd put that out there. And if there's any dialogue to go with it, then great. Offer it up. Nothing nasty. Keep it clean or you will be deleted. Because I've seen some people talking about this kind of thing on Faceplant and stuff. And, one thing I've noticed, and obviously you can tell by this video, that most sax players have an opinion. But see, this is my video channel, so I can say whatever the hell I want, right? So, anyway, that's why I'm saying this. There are a lot of great horns out there. And Selmer makes great ones. Mark 6, great horn, sure. 26,000 for an alto. Right? Looney Tunes. Yeah, no. Don't get it. I don't understand it. So if they are worth that, and I'm missing something here, please enlighten me, because I don't get it. Not at all. But anyway, find what works for you and go for it. That's all I got to say. Okay, that's all. Thanks. Have a great night. Oh, and if you want to get back to me for a civil chat on this topic, my email address, which I will post below, youtube@belltones.ca, youtube at belltones.ca, youtube@belltones.ca. Okay, folks, have a great night and take care, and stop drinking the Kool-Aid.